Yes.
Uh, I'm Dr. Sultan Singh as the faculty member of Immunology in France, and today in this class, in this session, based on this schedule, we have session and we're supposed to talk about cytokines, major histocompatibility complex or MHC, and antigen presentation. And after that, at 1 p.m., I will talk about innate immunity and inflammation. And but let's back to cytokines and for this session. In this session, our goal of this class is to know what are the cytokines, what is the role of cytokine in our immune system, and after that we want to familiar with some important innate immune system cytokines and some adaptive immune system cytokines, and finally we want to know about some drugs relevant to cytokines based on cytokines for controlling and monitoring and treatment of many inflammatory diseases, cancers, and other type of disorders. I want to start this class and talking about cytokine with giving an example to you. This example is about humans and imagine in a country people need to communicate with each other through language. And so, as you know, every language is consistent of many words. And in our body, every organ, like a country, need to. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Every organ in our body, in every organ in our body, different cells need to communicate with each other through something like language, okay? And in our nervous system, with this nervous system, for example, in nervous system, different cells, neurons, usually communicate with each other through producing and secreting some molecules. They are called neurotransmitter. So we can say neurotransmitter is a language for nervous system, and different neurons through neurotransmitter communicate with each other. And like nervous system, in the other organs in our body, like endocrine system, as you know, in endocrine system we have different type of endocrine glands like hypophysis, ovary, liver, testes. We have different type of endocrine glands in endocrine system, and different endocrine glands need to communicate with each other through something like language, and these things for communication is called hormone. So the language of endocrine system is hormone. And like endocrine system, like nervous system in our body, in our immune system, also different immune cells communicate with each other through producing and secreting some specific molecules that they are made of proteins, and these molecules are called cytokines. So, cytokines is the language of our immune system, and through which different type of immune cells communicate with each other and affect each others. And I wanna tell you about a country like Iran. You are seeing geographic map of Iran in this slide, and you know in Iran we have different ethnicities, various ethnicities, and every ethnicity languages. If they know their languages, they can easily communicate with each other. So, like a country with different ethnicities, such as Iran, in our body, different systems like immune system, nervous system, endocrine system, because all of them know each other's language, so they can communicate with each other. Okay, and usually different organs, different system in our body communicate with each other through three modes of communication. These communication can be paracrine, autocrine, and endocrine. Okay? In nervous system, usually neurons in our nervous system communicate through producing secreting neurotransmitter, and this neurotransmitter affect nearby cells, and so this means paracrine effect, paracrine mode of communication. And in the endocrine system, the hormones as the language of endocrine system usually secrete and are secreted and go into blood circulation and affect distant cells. So this means endocrine mode of communication. This is meaning of endocrine. But in our immune system, immune cells are able to communicate with all of three modes of communication: endocrine, paracrine, and also through autocrine mode. Autocrine means every immune cell is capable of producing some cytokines, and these cytokines also affect distant and nearby cells, but also they are able to affect the origin cells, that they have produced these cytokines, have some receptor for these specific cytokines. So these cytokines are able to affect the origin cells that they have produced by them. So this means autocrine. So in our immune system, different immune cells are capable of communicating with each other through autocrine, paracrine, and endocrine. And what about cytokine nomenclature? In this part of class, we wanna learn about cytokine nomenclature and how different types of cytokines were named to TNF superfamily, interleukins, interferons, chemokines, and the other type of cytokines like adipokines and myokines, hepatokines. Different type of cytokines are produced through some non-immune cells, like hepatocytes. This means hepatokine. From adipose tissue is called adipokine. From muscles is called myokines. But the other type of cytokines like TNF, interleukins, interferons, and chemokines, all of them are produced by immune cells in our immune system. And before I start talking about the role of cytokines and some important cytokines in our innate immune system, in our adaptive immune system, I want to tell you a story about discovery of different group of cytokines in our body. The first cytokine is called TNF, tumor necrosis factor. Like John Old was a person, was a general practitioner and scientist. This person observed some proteins were produced from macrophage cells, and these proteins were capable of a cytotoxic effect on tumor cells. Okay, and so these proteins means communication, leukin means these proteins are produced from some leukocyte and affect different leukocytes. So means interleukin, a protein, a type of cytokines, is able to make communication between different leukocytes. So these cytokines are called leukocytes, and we have more than 50 interleukins in our immune system. And about interferon history. And Alec Isaac, a scientist, with his colleague, discovered this cytokine in 1977. And this person, Alec Isaac, observed when chicken embryo membranes exposed to heat inactivated influenza virus produce some proteins, and these proteins inhibit the growth of influenza virus in embryo membrane, in chicken embryo membrane. So, because these proteins interfere with growing of virus, proliferation of virus in target cell, this protein was called interferons, and we have more than 20 interferons in our immune system these days. Another type of cytokines in our immune system are chemokines. And what about discovery of chemokines? Chemokine means some proteins, some cytokines are important for a little chemotaxis activity in our immune system. The researcher scientists observe when mononuclear leukocytes like monocytes exposure to some inflammatory agents like bacterial endotoxins. So their supernatant, after adding to monocytes cultures, lead to monocyte chemotaxis activity. Because of this effect, this cytokine was called monocyte chemotaxis protein 1 and later termed CCL2. So CCL2 or MCP1 is type of chemokine with chemotaxis activity in our immune system. These type of cytokines are very important for recruitment of immune cells, chemotaxis activity of immune cells in some tissues or some site in our body. The pathogen entered and make infection or into some injury tissue to protect us against every foreign substance. So these cytokines lead to chemotaxis activity and recruitment of immune cells. And but about general effects of cytokines. I know this topic is theoretical a little, but it's basic for immunology, and you need to learn. Okay, excuse me if this topic is theoretical for you and is a little tiring for you. And but about general effects of cytokines in our body, different type of cytokines lead to different type of roles in our body, like cell rules after affecting target cells lead to cell differentiation, cell death, and also lead to secretion of the other cytokines by target cells, and also lead to responsiveness to the other cytokines. So different cytokines in our immune system have different roles, like this that I told you. And what relevant to different roles and actions of cytokines in our cytokines is like hormone in endocrine system. Okay, I told you in every system, our cells, for example, in endocrine system, in nervous system, in every system in our body, different cells need to communicate with each other and communicate with the other cells in the other systems in our body. Okay, cytokine is the language of immune system. Okay, and different immune cells, macrophage, monocyte, neutrophil, lymphocyte, all of them communicate with each other to produce cytokines. Okay. And what about the general effects of cytokines and relevant to a function of different cytokines? There are some terms relevant to functions, actions of cytokines. The first one, as you are seeing, pleiotropism. Okay, sometimes we can. This cytokine is pleiotropic. What's the meaning of pleiotropism? What's the meaning of
where one gene affects two or more, like that, something like that. Two or more factors. I'm not sure.
Hormone.
One gene, it affects two or more factors. I'm not sure.
Can be right. Yes, yes.
Act on more than one cell.
More than one time.
No, act on more than one cell type.
Okay, you are telling me one cytokines can have more than one function. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I explained about these meaning in detail, comprehensively. Your classmates were right, but I explained more about pleiotropism. Pleiotropism means one cytokine, one specific cytokine is produced by one specific immune cells like lymphocyte T cells in our body, and in this cytokine is able to affect the different immune cells. Okay, one cytokine have a receptor on different immune cells and so can affect different immune cells, different roles on different immune cells. This means pleiotropism. So one cytokine can be in our immune system pleiotropic. And but about redundancy, what's the meaning of redundancy? When sometimes we say this cytokine is redundant. Can you?
Many cell types can produce one cytokine.
Many different cell types can produce one specific. Yes, exactly. It's correct. And you are seeing one lymphocyte T cells. These lymphocyte T cells are able to produce different cytokines, and as you are seeing, these different cytokines has one specific effect or has the same effect on target cells, target immune cells like lymphocyte B cells. So in this case, if this cytokine that has been shown in red is removed, the other cytokines are able to compensate the role of this cytokine because all of them have the same effect, have the same role. Also, they are different type of cytokine but have the same role on target cells. This means redundancy. And what about synergism?
One or more cytokines make
Same effect.
A strong their effect. Make a strong their effect.
to produce one or
No, reduce no. Reduce means
not reduce,
produce. Okay.
Exaggerate the effect of each other.
Exaggerate. Okay. And other
They can make each other stronger.
Stronger. Yes, exactly, correct. When two different type of cytokine are produced by different source of our cells, different source in our immune system, these different cytokines can enhance each other's effect. This means synergism. And in pharmacology, some drugs synergize their each other's effect, make a stronger, the final effect. Okay, and if this cytokine is removed, only the effect will be weaker, okay, than before. But the effect is not removed because these different cytokines are produced by different cells are able to enhance each other's effect. Do you have any question? Okay. And what about antagonism?
One
Again.
or more cytokine make to
Make to
make inhibitors.
Against each other. They're against each other. The effect.
Opposite to each
They
other.
make each other.
They have an inhibitory effect on each other.
okay, inhibitory effect on each other's. Okay.
One cytokines make another one reduce the effect.
Reduce effect, inhibitory effect. Yes, it's correct, exactly. And antagonism means two cytokines are produced by one immune cells in our body or different cells in our body. That these cytokines, different cytokines, have been shown in different colors, red and color. Both of them affect one target cells because they have receptors on one target cells, but one cytokine inhibits effect of the other cytokines or reduce the effect of other cytokines. In the other word, we can say when we say these cytokine is antagonist for the other cytokines, it means these cytokines have the opposite effect, okay? And when this cytokine is produced, can inhibit the effect of this cytokine has been drawn in green, okay? And but about our immune system. In the introduction, I think Dr. Nubaksh taught you, okay? Dr. Nubaksh explained about immune system, and as you know, our immune system break into innate immune system and adaptive immune system. And in innate immune system, we have different type of barriers, molecules, cells, all of them as the first line of defense.
You told that cytokine communicate with each other. When there is any injury,
Cytokines communicate with each other.
immune system communicate each other through cytokines.
Cytokine.
So when there is any injury in our body, anything, then immune system creates cytokines produced. So then how it communicate with other cells, like how it convey the message. It has any receptor or the cytokine can go and bind to it.
Okay. You mean in our immune system, different immune cells how communicate with each other through cytokines?
No.
They communicate through cytokine. Yeah. When like T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte, they produce cytokine. Now it has to go and convey the message to other cells. So how the cytokine convey the message? It go and bind to the cell, it has any receptor, or how it conveys the message?
It's like when you speak, like the immune system is the bodies, and the cytokines like speaking. When you are speaking in my mouth, and you will hear in your ear. So the cytokines will transfer by the blood or by the nerves.
in our immune system, every immune cell has specific receptors for specific cytokines, okay? And cytokines specifically affect target cells. For example, some cytokines, I explain in next part of this session, some cytokines are able to affect lymphocyte T cells because they have a receptor on lymphocyte T cells, but some cytokines, these cytokines are not able to affect lymphocyte B cells because they don't have any receptors, or their receptor on lymphocyte B cells has a low expression, is low number. So the effect of cytokines in our body on different immune cells is a specific effect, okay? And about the adaptive immune system, Dr. Nubash taught you in adaptive immune system two branch. We have a cellular and also humoral branch, and two type of immune cells, lymphocyte B cells and lymphocyte T cells, are very, very important immune cells in our adaptive immune system. And in this part of class, I wanna tell you about some important cytokines in our innate immune system. The first important cytokine, we have so many cytokines, different cytokines, as I told you in previous slides. We have so many cytokines in our body, and but I want to tell you some important cytokine, for example, in this class. But the first cytokine, important cytokine in innate immune system, is tumor necrosis factor. And what is the origin of this cytokine? Usually some innate immune cells in our innate immune system, like macrophage, monocyte, and also sometimes some non-immune cells, like endothelial cells, are capable of producing these cytokines after exposure to every foreign substances, like every pathogens that have entered to every side of our body, every tissue. These cells are activated and produce and uptake the pathogens and form phagolysosome to phagocytose the pathogens. And so after activation, these cells start producing some cytokines are called TNF alpha, or tumor necrosis factor. And as I told you, as I mentioned in the previous slide, this cytokine was called in this name, with this name, because of tumor cell lysis effect. And so the most important effect of this cytokine is tumor lysis. But this cytokine is also able to affect hypothalamus in brain and lead to some effects, some outcome, like anorexia, fever, sickness behavior. Whenever you get infected to every pathogen, for example, you get infected with influenza virus, during disease, you will be and include some signs, symptoms like losing appetite, depression, confusion, and in this condition you don't like to communicate with anybody, and all of them mean sickness behavior. Sickness behavior occurs, happens after effective TNF alpha on our brain after getting infection. And but the other effect of TNF alpha as important cytokine in innate immune system is affecting liver cells, hepatocytes, and lead to producing CRP protein or C-reactive proteins in our body. These proteins are called the protein in acute inflammatory phase in our body after entering every foreign substance, every pathogen in our body. Our liver starts producing these CRP protein, and after affecting and producing TNF alpha and affecting our liver cells. And this protein is very, very important because lead to because this protein bind to the surface of foreign substances like pathogens and lead to phagocytosis because our immune system, immune cells have some receptors for these CRP proteins and lead to opsonization and phagocytosis. And also TNF alpha, apart from affect brain and liver, can affect neutrophil cells and can activate these neutrophil cells. As you know, neutrophil, I'm sure you've learned neutrophil immune cells as the first line of defense in innate immune system. These cytokines affect neutrophil and lead to activation of neutrophil. And you know, after activation of neutrophil, these cells start phagocytosis, necrosis, and do you know about necrosis? Necrosis, no necrosis.
Tissue damage when cells, one of cells have damage because of toxins or other factors.
No. This means necrosis.
Mitosis is when they kill the cell, and then it lets its DNA out.
Yes, it's correct. But I comprehensively explain about necrosis in next session. Okay? And so TNF alpha affect neutrophil and active B cells and lead to phagocytosis, necrosis, and also producing some antimicrobial peptides by neutrophil cells. And these cytokines plus affect macrophage cells, also produced by macrophage, but these cells is able to affect macrophage cells as autocrine. I told you autocrine means this cytokine produce one specific cell to one specific cell and affect the same origin cells, and this means autocrine. And this TNF affect macrophage and enhance phagocytosis power of macrophage and also stimulate these macrophages to produce some cytokines like interleukin-1. And what about interleukin? What is interleukin-1? Interleukin-1 is classified as important cytokines in our innate immune system. It's another important cytokines in our innate immune system. Neutrophils like TNF alpha is produced by some innate immune cells like macrophage, neutrophils, and also some non-immune cells like endothelial cells, epithelial cells. But the main source of these cytokines are leukocytes, are neutrophil, macrophage, and like TNF affect brain and lead to some same effects and affect liver and lead to producing CRP, and apart from effect affecting brain and liver, these cytokines affect endothelial cells and increase endothelial cell biogenesis, and also affect endothelial cells and lead to expression of some adhesion molecules on the surface of these endothelial cells, and these adhesion molecules are very, very important for recruitment of immune cells from blood circulation to near inflammation site, infection site, injury tissues, and so this cytokine is very important for some effects on endothelial cells. And apart from these effects I mentioned, these cytokines affect lymphocyte T cells. You're late. Welcome. And these cytokines affect lymphocyte T cells and lead to differentiation of these lymphocyte T cells to different subtypes. Effector T cells, T helper 1, T helper 2, T cytotoxic. So this cytokine is very important for differentiation of lymphocyte T cells to different subtypes of the lymphocyte.
If interleukin 1, it causes inflammation in epithelial cells, or it like helps the epithelial cells to get rid of inflammation.
Helps endothelial cells to occur inflammation. Okay, interleukin. I explain more in next part about inflammation. And what about interleukin 6? Interleukin 6, like interleukin 1, interleukin and TNF alpha, is produced by some innate immune cells, macrophage, myocyte, and also some non-immune cells like adipocyte, and affect brain and lead to sickness behavior, affect liver, they lead to producing CRP proteins, and also affect T cells and lead to differentiation of T cells. And also, apart from these same effects, these cytokines affect lymphocyte B cells, stimulate these lymphocyte B cells as a humoral branch of our adaptive immune system, and stimulate these cells to differentiate to plasma cells as the main source of antibody production in our body. So interleukin 6 as inflammatory cytokine, as innate immune system cytokines, have different role on different immune cells and different non-immune cells. And what about chemokines? I told you some cytokines are classified as chemokines in our immune system, and we have some chemokines in our body to recruit different immune cells whenever we need immune cells. For example, when injury occurs in some site of our body, in some tissues in our body, or whenever some pathogen enter to some tissues in our body needs to deal with this pathogen, need to defense, protect us against this pathogen, need to kill this pathogen. So in this site, some cytokines, some chemokines are produced by some innate immune cells as sentinel cells in this specific tissue, and the other non-immune cells, and these cytokines are chemokines and lead to chemotactic activity or recruitment of the other immune cells to these sites to defense against pathogen. So these chemokines I want to introduce you some type of chemokines in our immune system. These chemokines are produced by some immune cells like dendritic cells, macrophage, and some non-immune cells like epithelial cells. And this cytokine, this chemokine,
interleukin-6 is part of innate immunity.
Is part of our innate immune system.
So how they produce antibodies, because antibodies is produced by adaptive immunity B lymphocyte.
Lymphocyte B, how produced? Okay, because interleukin 6 has some receptor on lymphocyte B cell, and interleukin 6 is not enough for differentiation of lymphocyte B cells to plasma cell, activation of lymphocyte B cells, proliferation of is not enough. But along with the other signals help lymphocyte B cells. And why interleukin 6 affect lymphocyte B cells? Because has a specific receptor on lymphocyte B cells and doesn't have a specific receptor on the other lymphocyte T cells. So interleukin 6 affect lymphocyte B cells, and along with the other signals lead to clonal expansion, differentiation, and producing plasma cells. And let's back to chemokines as the other cytokines in it. The first important chemokine is interleukin 8, and interleukin 8 is a very important chemokine for recruitment of neutrophil. It's specific for neutrophil, and in every site of our body, every pathogen enter to the infected site or injury site. This cytokine is produced in large amount, and these cells are deployed to this site of infection or injury to defense against pathogen. And also, the other type of chemokine, as I told you, is MCP, or monocyte chemotactic protein. And also, I told you the first chemokine was discovered was MCP1. These days, we have the other type of MCP1, the other subtype of MCP1, like MCP2, MCP3, MCP4. Each of them has a specific role apart, except chemotoxicity of monocyte to site of infection or injury. And what about the other type of chemokine for adaptive immune cells, like MYC or envious for inflammatory 10 cytokines? I usually don't memorize number of every molecules, every cells, because I believe we can see these names on different articles whenever we can search. Because memorizing is not necessary for us, because we are next generation and we have access to different type of technologies, and whenever we will, we can see these names, okay? And so you don't need to memorize everything, in my opinion, okay? But you need to learn every concept, okay? You need to understand every concept, every theory is necessary for you. It's basic. And what about exotoxin? Exotoxin is the other chemokines in our immune system, in our innate immune system, is necessary chemokines for chemotoxicity of eosinophil. As we know, eosinophil are the most important innate immune cells for defense against helminths, parasites, and also are important for allergic reaction. So eotoxin is important chemokine for eosinophil recruitment. And what about the other type of cytokines are very important in our innate immune system, interferon type 1, alpha and beta subclass, and they are very important in defense against healthy hepatocytes in our body and lead to antiviral state. Antiviral state for healthy cell means these cells will resist to get infected with any virus. Okay, and but these cytokines, because have receptor on the surface of infected cells, these cytokines can affect the infected cells, the origin cells, autocrine, as autocrine. And these affecting lead to antiviral state in infected cells. Antiviral state in infected cell means these cytokines inhibit reproduction and proliferation of virus in infected cells. Stop proliferation, stop reproduction of virus in infected cells, and also resist healthy cells to get infected to new virus. So this effect of interferon, and these days interferon type 1 alpha and beta therapy is used for viral infection, and in COVID pandemic, many hospitals and doctors were using this cytokine as a therapy, but because the COVID-19 virus was resistant to interferon type 1, this treatment was not useful, was not so effective, because with COVID-19 virus was able to inhibit expression of interferon receptor on the surface of infected cells and our healthy cells, and it was a kind of mechanism, resistance mechanism of this virus to our immune system. And what about adaptive immune system cytokines? So far we've learned about some important cytokines in our innate immune system, like interleukin 1, interleukin 6, TNF alpha, and some chemokines like interleukin 8, toxin, and in this part we wanna familiar with some adaptive immune system cytokines. And when some particles, some foreign substances like some pathogens, virus, bacteria, fungi enter to every site of our body, our innate immune cells like macrophage phagocytose or uptake these pathogens, and these pathogens enter to their cytosol as phagosome, and this phagosome is merged to lysosome, and this is lysosome, and form phagolysosome. In phagolysosome, because of low pH and different type of enzyme, protease, hydrolyze, and phosphatase, and the other type of enzyme and antimicrobial peptides lead to degradation of pathogens and foreign antigens or substances, and these peptides, new peptides, after processing in phagolysosome are loaded by some molecules like MHC or major histochemical complex in our body in endoplasmic reticulum, and after that these complex MHC peptides are present to lymphocyte T cells in our body, and these lymphocyte T CD4 positive cells are able to receive the other signals like CD to any 8 signals after binding to B cell 1, and these cells are activated and do clonal expansion, and also they produce specific cytokine interleukin 2. Interleukin 2 is produced by lymphocyte T cells, and because has many receptors on the surface of lymphocyte T cells, is also proliferation, more proliferation. So interleukin-2 is an important cytokine in the adaptive immune system, is produced by lymphocyte T cells and autocrine affect lymphocyte T cells and is important for clonal expansion and proliferation of lymphocyte T cells. And in presence of interleukin-12 that is produced by macrophage, this interleukin-12 affect lymphocyte T cells, and these cells differentiate to T helper 1 subtype. So in adaptive immune system, interleukin-12 is very important cytokine for differentiation of TCD4 positive T cells or T helper 2 to T helper 1 subtype. These T helper 1 subtypes in adaptive immune systems are able to produce interferon gamma cytokines. So interferon type 1, alpha, beta are very important in innate immune system for defending against viral infection. But in adaptive immune system, interferon gamma cytokine is produced by T helper 1 subtype and very important for affecting on macrophage and enhancing phagocytosis power of macrophage. And apart from CD28, MHC peptide complex, the other type of signal that like CD40 ligand is produced on the surface of T helper 1 after activation of T helper 1. And these ligand bind to its specific receptor CD40 on the surface of macrophage and interferon gamma along with CD40 signal lead to enhancement of microbial activity, antimicrobial activity of macrophage. So, enhancing antimicrobial activity of macrophage means in these cells some superoxide oxygens and some reactive oxygen species are produced and lead to killing the pathogens. Okay, tell me your question.
ACPs represent antigen to macrophage or T lymphocyte.
Present antigens to lymphocyte.
Lymphocyte.
Present these MHC, okay, present antigens to lymphocyte but express on the antigen presenting cells or macrophage.
So there is lysosome inside macrophage.
In macrophage, yes.
So they have hydrolytic enzymes.
Yes, yes.
So they can destroy the antigen. So what is the need for cytolytic T cells?
This cytolytic.
Yeah. Lysosome have
Oh,
hydrolytic enzymes, proteolytic enzymes.
Okay.
They can destroy.
These cytokines enhance this effect you told me. You told me phagolysosome have many hydrolytic enzymes, portase enzyme, low pH, and also produce a reactive oxygen species, ROS, okay? And these cytokine, interferon gamma, is produced by T helper 1, affect these macrophage and enhance producing ROS, enhance processing antigen in phagolysosome. Okay, this processing without interferon gamma is done in phagolysosome, but in presence of interferon gamma, this process can be enhanced. Okay, improved. And but some natural killer cells in our body produce in presence of interleukin-2 is also produce interferon gamma, and this interferon gamma, like the interferon gamma has been produced by T helper 1, affect macrophage and enhance antimicrobial activity of macrophage more and more. And but about the other cytokines, I told you MHC adaptive immune system. Many years ago, scientists believed our innate immune system are able to produce some cytokines like interleukin 12 and enhance adaptive immune system and initiate adaptive immune responses. But now, these days, scientists believe these innate and adaptive immune system collaborate with each other. Collaboration between innate and adaptive immune system means not only innate immune system produce some cytokines and enhance effect and response of adaptive immune system, but also adaptive immune system is able to produce some cytokines like interferon gamma and affect innate immune systems and affect these activity of innate immune system in our body. So let's back to our class, to adaptive immune cytokines.
You can take rest. You can take rest.
Rest, break,